You've probably taken a photo today without thinking twice about it, maybe several, but for most of human history, capturing someone's exact likeness was considered dangerous, even forbidden. One of the most famous Native American war leaders in history, Crazy Horse, refused to be photographed for his entire life, and reportedly would not allow it even at his own funeral. This is the history of the camera. The idea behind photography is actually ancient, far older than most people realize. Around the year 1000, the Arab scientist Ibn al-Haytham, sometimes called the father of optics, wrote detailed descriptions of how light passing through a small hole into a dark space would project a perfect upside-down image of whatever lay outside. For centuries afterward, artists and scientists used this exact principle, known as the camera obscura, a dark box or entire room with a tiny opening that projected the outside world onto an interior wall or surface. Painters relied on it constantly as a drawing aid, tracing the projected image by hand to achieve perfect perspective. The missing piece was never really the optics. Humans had understood how to project an image for nearly 800 years. What nobody could figure out was how to make that fleeting, ghostly projection permanent. In 1826, a French inventor named Nicéphore Niepce finally managed it. After years of failed experiments, he coated a pewter plate with a light-sensitive substance called bitumen of Judea, placed it inside a camera obscura, pointed out an upstairs window at his family's country estate, and simply waited. The exposure took somewhere between 8 hours and several full days, depending on the weather and available light. The resulting image, a faint, blurry view of rooftops and a courtyard, is considered the oldest surviving photograph in the world, and it still exists today, carefully preserved. Niepce eventually partnered with another Frenchman, Louis Daguerre, hoping to refine the painfully slow process together and make it commercially viable. Niepce died in 1833 before ever seeing the project finished. Daguerre kept working alone for 6 more years, and by 1839 had developed something dramatically better, a process that could capture a usable, richly detailed image in just 20 to 30 minutes instead of days. He called it the daguerreotype. The French government was so impressed by the breakthrough that they struck an extraordinary deal, granting Daguerre a lifetime pension in exchange for releasing the full technical details to the entire world completely free of charge. On August 19, 1839, photography officially became public property, gifted to humanity by an act of the French state. Almost simultaneously, across the English Channel, a British polymath named William Henry Fox Talbot had been developing a competing method called the calotype. Unlike Daguerre's one-of-a-kind metal plates, Talbot's process used a paper negative, meaning multiple copies of the same photograph could be printed from a single original. It's the direct ancestor of the negative and print system that dominated photography for the next century and a half. If you're enjoying stories like this, hit subscribe now. This channel digs up hidden histories exactly like this one every single week. As cameras spread around the world, they carried something unexpected with them. Genuine fear. Across dozens of unrelated cultures, people met this strange new invention with real suspicion. And it wasn't simple ignorance. It connected to something much older. Ancient Egyptian and Greek traditions had long treated reflections as an outward projection of the soul itself, the same belief that eventually gave us the old superstition about 7 years of bad luck for breaking a mirror. Among the Kayapo people of the Amazon, the word akaron kaba meant both photograph and to steal a soul. At the exact same time, some Central American Mayan communities avoided cameras inside churches, tied to older beliefs about the soul traveling toward the saints during prayer. Crazy Horse, the Lakota leader, held out against every request throughout his entire life, and no verified photograph of him is known to exist today. It's worth being careful here, though. Indigenous scholars themselves have pushed back hard against the popular version of this story, the one where primitive cultures are simply painted as naively terrified of new technology. As the artist and curator Will Wilson, who is Dine, has put it, that framing is a serious oversimplification. Many communities weren't afraid of some vague, supernatural threat. They understood exactly how powerful an image could be, and exactly how it could be used against them by outsiders holding the camera. Fear of the unknown was only ever part of the real story. By the late 1800s, photography stopped being something only trained professionals or the wealthy could access. In 1888, an American businessman named George Eastman launched the Kodak camera, a simple box preloaded with enough film for 100 photographs. His slogan promised something genuinely revolutionary for its time. You press the button, we do the rest. Customers mailed the entire camera back to the factory once the roll was finished, and Kodak's staff developed the prints, reloaded fresh film, and shipped the whole thing back. For the first time in history, capturing a permanent image required absolutely no chemistry knowledge, no darkroom, and no formal training at all. Anyone with a few dollars could suddenly do what once took Niepce 8 patient hours on a windowsill. That single idea, point, click, done, is the direct ancestor of the smartphone sitting in your pocket right now. Today, people take more photographs in a single day worldwide than existed in photography's entire first century combined. The average person barely thinks twice before pointing a lens at a stranger, a meal, or their own face, something that would have seemed almost unthinkably casual to nearly every culture that first encountered this technology. So the next time you snap a quick photo without a second thought, remember the actual weight this invention used to carry: an 8-hour exposure of an empty courtyard, a French government's gift to the world, a word in the Amazon that meant both picture and stolen soul at once, and a war leader who spent his entire life making absolutely certain that no camera would ever capture him at all. If this surprised you, subscribe for more hidden histories behind the everyday objects you never think twice about. Next time, we're uncovering the instrument built to replace an entire orchestra.